He knows, and I know that he can go a long ways. You know, he's got a tool set that's, you know, as a freshman's highly evolved, but he's got a long ways to go. You know, football intelligence at the college level, fighting the holding at the college level. Obviously, they hold a lot more, and they're much stronger guys holding you. So again, you know, just using his hands, the football knowledge. That's where he could help himself most. Football knowledge. He's still playing by instincts. Doesn't really understand well which formation is this. Where's the back? All those type things. That's where he's got to advance.
Between Miller and Vickers, those other guys, that second-tier group, maybe Mixon, who's most likely to rotate in with Danny O and Owen and Jordan and those guys?
Well, at this point, it's Mixon. And, you know, we had a great week of preparation. Miller's playing some on pass rush downs, so they just have to understand they might have to, if called upon, they're going to have to play more reps. So that was the purpose of really this week, was to prepare these guys for this 3-week haul that we're going into. So I think mentally we're really pushing it on them, and then physically they just have to use this week to get better.
Had you seen a group like what we saw Saturday, where if you give up 600 total yards as a whole defense, to turn it on the way you did in overtime, and Majid getting a sack or two, Barnett having a pressure, you know, that just flip it on at the exact right time before? Have you seen that before?
Well, I think this. I think they knew that we were giving up a lot of yards through our mistakes, if that makes sense. So we just tried to stay positive, knowing that if we corrected our mistakes and made plays at opportune times, which we ended up doing down the stretch, you know, the third down play right before half was critical, and then right before end of regulation. And then you got the overtime play. So, you know, I never saw anybody's head drop. You know, I really didn't. What was really encouraging, to be honest with you, was the offense was over at our end. It was like, so it's good defense, we got your back, you know. So it was what Coach Jones calls complementary football. There was a lot of it that night. You know, the offense was backing us up, and so it was resiliency.
What are some of those mistakes you saw out of that group?
Well, you know, we lost contain, and that's really not a running. I'm just talking about some of the mistakes we made. You know, we lost contain on a third down, and the quarterback scrambled for a first down. Yeah, 3rd and 18. So that was a critical mistake. You know, they ran an option, and it was the end's responsibility to take the pitch. We didn't take the pitch. So we were making mistakes. Those were both long gain plays. If we'd have simply done what we usually do, it wouldn't have been that case. So I think it was just a matter of correcting ourselves.
Steve, what was your reaction when Derek kind of slung Thompson around? Were you kind of worried that he was going to get flagged for a little extracurricular there?
You know, absolutely. You know, I think, you know, he's got a mentality, and he's very, very competitive, and you know, that was an intense time of the game. But, yeah, I think we have to learn to play with an edge, but yet be smart.
What was his reaction when he got back to the sideline? I'm sure you guys were telling him, don't do that again.
Yeah, and again, Derek doesn't get, he just says, I got it. That's about all he ever vocalizes. I got it, coach. So,
what has he done to kind of, you know, a lot of freshmen, especially on the defensive line, probably get to this point of the season, probably hit a wall, and maybe their play drops off.
They usually hit it a lot earlier, and, you know, he's kind of pushed through it. And, you know, to be honest, right now we're being smart with our starters, you know, and really worked on developing the next wave this week. And so, you know, I think the thing with Derek is he's fit right in with the older crew, if that makes sense. Whether it's AJ or Kurt or Jordan Williams, I mean, he's like one of them, if that makes sense.
Did he ever even hit a wall?
No, he hasn't. You know, he's banged up like everybody, but that's part of football.
Steve, I mean, the depth along the defensive line seems to be relatively solid. I mean, how important has that been for you guys?
Well, you know, I think you know, until, you know, when Salisbury left, that hurt a little bit. But, you know, I think we've been able to manage reps. I think, you know, Kurt Majid being able to handle various roles. You know, he plays linebacker at time, then he can jump down, play in. And so all that put together is, you know, you're trying to keep them fresh out there, which is really important. We couldn't do that last year. This year we're able to do that a lot more. And now the message this week was young guys develop, because any type of injury out there, you're going to be in the rotation.
Do you feel like you guys are better?